Hi, my name's Pam Bateman. I'm from Open Sight Hampshire. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar with Seeing Solutions, who we are joined with, who have joined us this morning. As you know, we're in pretty unusual times right now, although we did have that big announcement yesterday, so hopefully things might get a bit more normal, a bit more sooner rather than later. In normal times, what we would have throughout the year, 4 times a year, we would have what we call our Equipment and Information Days. And these are across the county of Hampshire, and we would have different suppliers and different exhibitors come and join us to showcase their equipment. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do those days for the last 12 months. So what we're doing instead is we're hosting webinars with different people who would have come along to those days. But today we are being joined by Phil and Alex from Seeing Solutions, who are going to show us some of their equipment. So what I'm going to do now is I'll hand over to Phil. He's going to show you what they have, and then after he's shown each piece of equipment, if anybody wants to ask any questions, then we'll do that, and then we can have a round of a Q&A session at the end as well. So I'll hand over to Phil. And first of all, Phil, thank you for joining us this morning.
Hello, I'm Philip Ward from a company called Pam Seeing Solutions. Just to say, we've been working with Pam and Open Sight for many, many years now, and you know, you couldn't be in better hands with that company. They're one of the ones that do help you.
Thank you,
What I'm going to show today is the Mercury. Mercury is some software, but it's been adapted to work in different applications. We have the Mercury 10. The Pocket Voice, we have the Viewpoint, and we have the Mercury 12. The first product I'm going to show you is the Mercury 10. Now, the Mercury 10 is a tablet and a stand, and we've designed it ourselves here in Nottingham. Now, the reason we designed it is because everything else is based around this purpose-built technology. This isn't. This is using everyday technology, and in a way that's nice and easy on the eye, very versatile, and to be honest, this unit here has been so popular, people haven't wanted anything else. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to set it up and switch it on. Now, I'll just show you, that's the case it comes in. It's very small, it's very easy to carry around, so when we can get out and about, you can just take it with you wherever you are. It's battery operated, which is great. So I'm going to just put it together now. This is the stand. This is the stand we make in Nottingham. It's called the Tab Stand Pro. And you'll see that we use this in several different other manners as well. So I'll just put this together here. That's it set up. Now you'll see it's lovely and portable. If you're using it in the living room, on your coffee table, that's easy. If you want to take it and lift it into the kitchen, you can do. It's light. The battery will last you anything up to 6 hours on one charge. A lot of people only charge it once a week. So it's very, very versatile and easy. And to make it very and to make it nice and easy for you when you are charging, because these sort of devices are terrible for finding a little charge hole. We put a magnetic charger on, so when you're charging, that's all it takes. So that's a very nice feature to have. Not only that it's easy to put onto the charge, but if you accidentally trip on this long cable, it just comes off and nothing's hurt. Now to switch it on, I just swipe upwards, and now we have the Mercury. And I will go into the magnifier.
Magnifier started.
And it says exactly what's going on. That's the magnifier. I've got a piece of newspaper here. I put it underneath and it shows it on the screen. Now, it's simple. One of the things we pride ourselves on when designing products is what we call the user interface. Now, the user interface is your ability to use complicated technology easily. Now, on this, to make it bigger, I literally open pinch like that. It's bigger. Close pinch, it's smaller. 3 fingers, touch the screen with 3 fingers,
Black on yellow,
and it changes the
yellow
colours.
on black, black on green on black, blue on yellow, yellow on blue, grey, original, high contrast.
And you've got a good range of colours to choose from to help you. And just say you have a packet of soup and it's, just say, green writing on a yellow background. Now, that's the sort of thing that we come up against. You can change that colour to whatever colour you find easiest to read. Now, I put it into the enhanced colour, which means that we've got another feature. If I want to do anything underneath it,
Take picture.
I don't know. Okay, so I take the magnification down. Now I can do practical work. And just say for the ladies who need to sew on a button, I can alter the height, and I can use it for writing, filling in crosswords, the Sudoku, whatever you want to read, and it's nice and easy to do so. Most people use the live image. In other words, you move the text underneath the camera. Especially with younger people, I found that the first thing they want to do is put their finger on the screen and move it around like this. You can do that. So if I take a picture here,
Picture taken.
and I've just taken a picture of what's underneath here, I'll make that bigger with the open pinch, and I can move it around and read. It's captured everything that's under here, and I can read it and change the different
Black
colours
on yellow, yellow on black.
to suit what's more interesting and easier for you to use. Now, it's a reader and a magnifier, and this is the magnifier part of it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come out of it.
Exit.
If I press the right button.
Exit. Magnifier started.
So we're going to go back
Exit.
to the home screen. The big blue one is the magnifier. The big red one is the reader. So now I'm just going to touch the red
Reader started.
button. I'll put something underneath that I want to read. Now, it doesn't mean to say that you can't read it. It just means that if you've got a large piece of text and you find it a bit boring and you don't want to use it in high magnification, you can just now press the
Take picture. Take picture. Picture taken.
Now it's taken a picture of what's underneath here and it's going to read it out to you. And you have different languages, you have different voices, and you can follow it as it reads as well.
102 holiday. Every week our holiday hero, Neil Simpson, takes an in-depth look at an important holiday topic.
Now,
Doing all the
I'm going to
legwork
touch the
so you
screen.
don't too.
And that will stop it. Because just say in the situation where it's a letter from the hospital, what you want to read is not the headings and or the guff at the beginning of the paper. You want to read where it is, when it is, and how you want to get there. So we can now move around the text to the bit that you want to read and just say, I want to read that there.
Including Cyprus, Madeira, Bermuda, Barbados and Dubai. Here's how to order get new system puts shown on.
And I can just read the bit that I want to read. And that's the reader part of it. You can save pictures, you can save text.
Exit. Reader started.
You'll notice that everything I touch it twice. And there's a reason for that as well. You can have it so you touch it once when you get used to it. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put my finger on there because I don't know what goes on here. So I'm going to keep my finger here.
Save picture.
And I'm just going to interrogate the screen.
Toggle reading mode. Settings. Toggle table load mode. Take picture.
And I can take my finger off and I know what's all the different buttons are on the screen. If I want to actually activate one of those buttons, And what I'm going to do, I'm going to activate
toggle
reading mode. It lights up, and then I touch it again.
Reading mode wrapped.
Now I've got it in a wrapped reading mode. And I'm going to take a picture of that again.
Take picture taken.
And what it's going to do, it's going to put everything in a nice long line.
Before booking a trip.
So
Search T-virus entry
I'll
requirements.
pause that because I can make it as big or small as I want, and everything is clear in a long line. Now you're not looking at the text as it is represented on the newspaper. It's actually redrawing it so it's clearer and easier to read. So that is the text mode, and you can just sit back and listen, and it will refresh itself, and you can forward and backwards through the screen.
Play. Before booking a trip. Search T-virus entry requirements.
Now, if I want to come out of that,
220 exit.
I just press the exit button and I'll go back to the reader. And there are certain features on the reader that make it nice and easy to use. You've got a saved image where you can save what is showing and come back to it at a later date and read it again. You have the reading mode, which was either the original image or the in a line mode. The settings. Now this here,
toggle table mode.
Table mode allows you to read your bank statements. So if, say, you've got something that's got 2 columns, it's automatically programmed to recognize the columns at the moment. That's why it's reading the newspaper perfectly. It will read and recognize articles, headings, and columns and read them in the right order. But with a bank statement, you don't want that. You want it to read not down one column, down the other column. You want it to read across. So if you spent £3.17 at Sainsbury's, you want to say it's £3.17 at Sainsbury's. You don't want to say all the places that you bought stuff from and then all the prices. So that mode button there will force the Mercury 10 into reading across the line. So if you value your privacy and you want to read your own bank statements, then just keep that a little bit private. Use that mode. Now that's the Mercury 10. It's a nice product. It's very portable. It's easy to use, easy to charge. You can alter the stand not only for things underneath it, and I'll come out of this again.
Exit.
And I'll go back into the magnifier.
Started.
And I'm going to tilt this up now. And now I can see things that are going on behind me. In other words, it's looking forward. So just say, for instance, you were watching birds on a bird table. You could point this outside the window and see the birds on the bird table. Or you could see somebody coming to the front door and make sure that that's the person you want to answer the front door to. So it's a very versatile device. Basically, that's the Mercury 10. Nice, easy. It's got a substantial base. I'll just say that if anybody does have a tablet which is anything up to 11 inches, you can have the stand on its own. They're £99, and that will work with any tablet. And I'll just take that off just to show you. It's got a jaw here that opens and closes, and it's easy enough just to put on.
Page 101.
Okay, is there any questions about the Mercury 10?
Does anybody have any questions that I'd like to ask Phil? No, I don't think so. No, does everyone unmute themselves and ask Phil any questions about the Mercury 10 before he carries on?
Can always ask at the end. It doesn't.
Or ask at the end?
Hi, Lisa. I'm actually registered by myself, but I'm also CEO of Sight for White. I unfortunately had to take a call in the middle of it, so I missed it slightly. But I've got a member who particularly what they're trying to do is read music, and I'm just thinking, could this somehow work on? It's on a piano with the music underneath it. I'm just trying to think of the logistics of how that could actually work.
Actually, it's funny you should mention that, because I just provided equipment for somebody who is reading music. It does rely on magnification. This will, of course, magnify the music for it to be read. It doesn't track the music
No.
automatically, but you will be able to see it. And of course, you will be able to put this on top of the piano and then read the music as you put it underneath.
Magnifier started.
Now, what I've just done, and this is veering off the Mercury a bit, but what I've done for a person, it was only yesterday actually, I provided a very large screen on top of a piano, and we do a special reader that will show the whole score width at a time. Now, with the score width being on a piece of A4, you want, of course, that much larger, and that is then projected onto a screen, which is sitting on top of a piano, and the lady there is just over the moon because she can just read her music. But when you're reading music, you have to forward read, especially on music. So you need to know the tempo, you need to know everything else. You can't just keep putting your hand underneath and moving it forward. It's really not an option with the piano. But just say with anything else, there's no reason why you can't.
Yeah, so the guy in question did try Limelighter, which does exactly that. It tracks the music, but he just couldn't get on with it. Even with the, like you say, by the time it was at the magnification that he needed, he couldn't read ahead far enough, and that's not how you play the piano. You know, you're always a little bit, further ahead, reading further ahead than you're playing.
Okay, just stay with me, because is there any other questions? Because I'm going to show you something else that would do the job that you want. Okay, is there any other questions, Pam?
Does anybody have any other questions?
I have a question.
Carry on.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, yeah.
With the stand, can that go any higher to give it more height? Because I've got a member that's got one of these. Oh, it does.
You can have it as high as you like. If you've got it this high and you're using a reader, you're getting a massive field of view. But you can have it like this. I have one user who reads broadsheet newspapers, and what they do, they turn it sideways like this. So you have now a massive area underneath, and that is also lending itself well for anybody who's doing practical work. An artist, for instance, we've got a couple of artists using these who are now reading and writing on this very large canvas or piece of paper here. Yeah, so yeah, you can just adjust the height and tighten it up with the key.
Okay. It's just he's struggling to get the whole page in the view of that the tablet, so it might be just more manipulating. But mind, his vision has deteriorated a little bit more since I've last seen him. So it's just, I think, having a play with that stand and the angle.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a play with it. I'll just say something at the moment. This is at the moment. It's the magnification is that it's only taking a small part of the paper. If you want to see the whole sheet of paper much bigger,
yeah,
then this is the sort of this is what you've got to remember. If you want it 2 times magnification, then you need your piece of A4 twice the width and twice the height. So that's what you're looking for as a screen. If you want to see the whole thing in 4 times magnification, you need a screen which is 4 times the height of A4 and 4 times the width. Now you get into another problem, whereas you're looking around with your head trying to see what you need to see. And that is why we have smaller screens, but with larger magnification.
Yeah. What about if it's just a standard A4 sheet, like, you know, like a letter?
Yeah.
That's fine. Obviously, it should then pick that whole up.
Well,
the reader mode.
You won't get the whole thing. If you want the whole piece of A4, you need, and just to get the ×1, you need an A4 size screen. So that's just 1-to-1. It's just showing, but the clarity might be better. Now that's the advantage. If you want something twice as big, you need double the length and double the width. That's for 2 times putting the whole thing on.
The screen isn't so as a worry. The magnification, it's more the reader, so that'd be fine. They can fit that under and then move to
the reader will take a whole sheet of A4, no problem.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, now stay with me. I'm going to tell you something else that might also be helpful to you. Okay, is there another question?
Yeah, if you're reading a book, and often as the writing goes into the binding, it curves away from the rest of the page, which means that it's not quite as clear as the rest as the initial part of the text. Will the optical character recognition take account of that and be able to read it?
Yes, it does. Now, you're talking about old technology and old technology cameras where the depth of field was very, very small. Modern cameras have a depth of field of roughly about 3 inches. You know, that's nearly 100 centimeters. So you can put boxes on here and it will read them. It will read easily into the binding of thick books, no problem whatsoever. You don't have to worry about that with modern systems, and there's certainly not with the Mercury 10 or the other products I'm going to show you in a minute.
Thank you.
If you don't have the tablet parallel to the piece of paper but at an angle, can it cope with that perspective?
I can show you.
Exit. We've started. Take picture taken.
It doesn't matter of the orientation of the paper. It could be upside down, sideways, it could be any angle you want. It looks at it, it works it out.
And where any 80 put our pen in 46 and start. F pause.
The software we're using in Mercury 10, or in Mercury here, is really second to nothing. We will put this against any other product and we know it's going to win hands down.
Do you have any more questions about this, about the Mercury, before Phil moves on? No, I think, Phil, if you just want to move on, that was great. Thank you. I especially like the bit about the magnet and the lead. I think that's a really great idea. It's a really good idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Phil, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
You said the
Yeah,
host
we can
was
hear you
muted
now.
us.
Yeah, that's great now. Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you now. Please carry on.
Okay. For those people who want to read music, go to the theatre. They want to have both hands free. This is your answer. Now, this doesn't matter what instrument you play, whether you play the clarinet, the piano, or anything. This is going to help you read your music as normal. Now, I can't actually demonstrate it, showing you, but I will explain it to you. Now, this is the viewpoint, and this has got the Mercury software in it. You put it on your head, and it's got inside, it's got very large lenses. Now, this is not like other devices like, that do this job. The large lenses inside, which you can probably see, are there because when you're looking at something and you've got macular degeneration, which is central vision loss, you tend to look out to the side of your eye a little bit. Well, large lenses allow you to do that, whereas small lenses don't allow you to do that. So when you're using the Mercury viewpoint, you can, it's up to a certain degree, you can deviate by 20 degrees to the side and still be able to see. Now, not only does it help with people whose sight is progressive, say they're using magnification and then they make it bigger and bigger and bigger. It's also useful for people who are totally blind as well, who can see something but can't see everything. And just like the Mercury 10, you can use the magnification and then move on to the speech when the magnification maybe becomes a little bit tedious or tiring to use. Now, with the viewpoint, you've got the full color image and you've got enhanced image as well. So it brightens things up for you. What you can do with the viewpoint, if you're reading music, you don't have to worry about the magnification, because if you've got it quite large, you actually move your head and read the music or what you want to look at by moving your head. So you don't have to think, well, can I get it all on? Because if it was a big screen and you were moving your head anyway, you might as well do it with something on your head and have the normal size. Now, this device here is 2,250, which is a lot less than any other product on the market doing this job. Not only will it do magnification, but it will do speech as well. And it's voice activated. And I'll just start this up. I'll say make bigger. Now you have voice activation. So just say you are doing something with two hands. And we do have an example of this. We have somebody who's using a pair of these. They renovate motorbikes. Now, it was okay when his sight was better, but now when he's holding the screwdriver in one hand, he's holding the wire in the other, and he has to put the two together and screw it up. He can't be holding a magnifying glass anymore. So he's using these. Now, if it's not big enough for what he's looking at, all you have to do is say, make bigger. And that beep makes it bigger for you. So you've got voice activation. You've also on the side here, you've got finger activation. And you can make that brighter, you can make it darker, you can make it bigger, and you can make it smaller. What you also have on here is it can read out to you. So if I say take picture, it's just taking a picture and it will try and read something out. I'm going to cancel that. So if you are sitting down in your armchair and you're reading your book, for instance, you're reading the book and you think, oh, no, I'm getting a little bit tired. You can just say, read it to me, and it will carry on reading it to you. Now, there's 17 different languages on here, so it doesn't matter if you are reading a Spanish book, you just put it into Spanish mode or French mode, or the English. It will just carry on reading. You've got different accents as well, and this is the same for the Mercury 10. You've got not only the languages, you have the, we've got a Scottish accent, for instance, we've got an Irish accent, we've got Australian, we've got American, we've got British, and you know, you always get somebody who's saying, you know, have you got Yorkshire? You know, can you speak Birmingham or something like that? I'm sure all this sort of thing will come. I know the Welsh is on its way for those people who like the Welsh accent. You know, when you're listening to a different accent, sometimes it's just easier to understand, especially those people who are using hearing aids. They need the clarity. You've got male and female voices on this, but the biggest advantage with this is the big lenses for people with macular degeneration or central vision loss from any disease. You can put it on, you can just treat it as normal. You do get used to it being on your head, and it's very light and easy. I don't really know how to explain anything more than that without people trying it. And this is what we're able to do at the moment. We can provide home visits. We are the sort of company that provide, we are an essential company in that fact. I have been inoculated for that reason, and we carry all the proper PPE if people want to see these. So don't think, well, after this is over, I will take a look. If you want to know about it, I would prefer, if I'm coming out to you, to do 2 or 3 people in a day, because I don't want to stay overnight and I'll make a long day of it, but I don't mind showing you this sort of equipment. But it's best seen if you want to use this type of piece of equipment at the theatre. It can be completely silent and you just zoom in or zoom out as you're watching a play going on. If you're watching a sporting event outside, you can use it quite easily. It's very, very versatile. Is there any questions on the viewpoint?
Do you have any questions for Phill?
In normal times, do you have a showroom?
We do have a showroom. which we can, it's sanitized after every use at the moment, but anybody is very welcome to come up here and see the equipment in our small showroom. Yeah.
Where is it?
Pardon?
Where?
Oh, we're in Nottingham, unfortunately. This is why I did offer to come out and do home visits, because I know you're on the south coast. But I would come out to you. But we're based in Nottingham, and that's where the showroom is.
I mean, as well, just to say that we do have an equipment centre here at our head office, which we will be we will hopefully be opening up our equipment centre again very soon to people. But also, again, following on as well, we do normally have equipment and information days across the county, which we're hoping to try and resume later on in the year. And I know, Phil, you will be attending those, won't you? So hopefully, if you're not able to see them in the interim, people can come to us at one of the info days, and you can show the equipment to them then.
Well, I'd love to work with you, Pam. If anybody's interested in seeing any of this equipment, just if they could book it in with you, and then I'll come down and maybe we could just use one of your rooms and people can try it if they want.
Certainly look at that. So
yeah. Now the next piece, because I'm pushing time now, is I'm going to show you the Pocket Voice.
Well, we did have one question. It said, is there software built into the device?
Yeah, it's software. It's not an app. It's very bit more complicated, and it's difficult to get off. These devices are purpose built for the software.
That'll answer their question. But move on, and so we can do another Q&A session at the end. So
yeah, okay. And I'll run through all the prices and everything at the end. This is the Pocket Voice. The Pocket Voice is that small. Okay, it's a little device that fits in your pocket that you can carry around with you. Now, this has got the Mercury software on as well. And like the Mercury 10, it's a screen and it's a reader as well. And I'll just get some text here. But I think this is probably the most versatile product we've ever made. And this is our own product, and we make it here in Nottingham. So we've got a little magnifier started. We've got a little magnifier. And it doesn't matter where you put it, it automatically focuses. So you can hold it, or you can use it on some pull-out legs. And I'll put the pull-out legs there. Now, as with the Mercury viewpoint, I can make it bigger and smaller with my fingers, or I can say make bigger, make smaller. I can say change color. High contrast. Change color. Black on white. Change color. White on black. And it just then shows everything. Now, with it being very versatile and working at close range, it can also work at a distance. So I'll just fold that leg down like that, and I can use it for looking at anything. If it doesn't focus immediately, touch it and it will focus, and you can read things at a distance. Now, people will say, how far can it read? It's infinite. It can read as far as you can see. But just remember that if you are looking at something at a distance, you have to turn the magnification right up to see what it is. And it's a bit like looking, if I give you a pair of binoculars and ask you to look at a bird in the sky, and they're powerful binoculars, you'd be looking at it and you say, well, where is it? Because it's such a pinpoint area of where you need to see. But you can do it. And you can hold it like that, and it becomes your magnifier and reader. So just say you were in a restaurant and you were looking at your menu, you can read your menu with it. Absolutely fine. You don't have to rely on anybody else. Just put it on top of your menu there. And you have got a very wide field of view to see what you want to read.
Black on yellow,
And with 3 fingers, like the other devices,
yellow on black, black on green.
I can change the colours. Now, if I want to read something, I can just put it on what I want to read. But if I've got too much on the screen, I want to get it all on. So I'm just going to say make smaller. So that double beat means it's the smallest. And I can just say take picture. Now I can either say take picture, or I can touch that button in the top right hand corner. And to make it easier, there's a little grid on there. That
In some countries, you may released from isolation after inflow negative test results. You may
So I'll pause that. Now you'll see it's actually taken the image from the newspaper. It hasn't given the bad print from the newspaper. It's redrawn it on the screen, so it's clearer. And you can have that in any colour you like. And I've just paused it, and I can go back.
results test negative
Or forwards.
test results. You
Or just cancel that altogether, and it goes back to the magnifier. And I can just change the colour,
black,
or just say
blue on yellow,
change colour, change colour.
yellow on blue.
Now, with the reader, that also works at a distance as well. So I'm just going to fold that leg down. And I'm going to put it into the original mode. And I'm just going to point it at some text. I'll say make bigger and take picture.
Picture taken.
And that's on the skew as well. So that's not straight. So now it's going to look at something at a distance, and hopefully,
Comma 4A, L4.
so it picks up something else. So it's probably,
Document.
oh, that, I will do it again. So,
Magnifier started.
because I probably move, take picture.
Picture taken.
So that, you know, if you wobble when you're taking something, it doesn't like that.
Educational texts. The modern textbook has its roots in the
So
mass
there's just things at a
production
distance,
possible
and I'm reading that quite easily.
Christian
Now I'll pause that. This is great when you're out and about. Now, if you want to use it at home,
Magnifier started.
you don't necessarily have to just carry it around in your pocket. I'm going to use the Tap Stand Pro, which I used for the Mercury 10 earlier. And this time, I'm going to put a cradle on it. Now, if you have the Mercury Pocket Voice on its own, you just get the Mercury Pocket Voice. If you have the Tab Stand Pro with it, you get the cradle. And we make this cradle, we print it here in Nottingham. And what that allows you to do is take the Pocket Voice, put it into the cradle, put something underneath. If I switch it off, put it underneath, and I can just say take picture. Now this becomes a reading machine, which you can just carry around. Now I know how much you pay for a standalone. I just bought that. I know how much you pay for a standalone reading machine, and this is just almost half the price. But not only is it a reading machine, which you can adjust, you can get a whole piece of A4 in there, no problem at all. It's a magnifier as well. Use it at home on the stand here. If you're going out, and you're out. So it's really, really versatile in the fact that it's not fixed in one position all the time. You've got the versatility of putting it in your pocket or using it at home in the cradle. And that's the Mercury Pocket Voice. Is there anything I've forgotten on that, do you think? The cost of the Pocket Voice is £825 and the stand is £99. And yeah, we'll come and demonstrate it. And if you like it, we'll have one with us and we'll leave it with you. There's a lot of people around your area that already got them. And people who I can, who wouldn't mind me saying, ask them how much they use it. It's a nice piece of kit. There's nothing else like it. Any questions about the Pocket Voice?
We've had one. It says, does it have a headphone jack?
It does, and it comes with them as well. Yeah, and it just plugs in to the side here, for privacy, of course. If you don't want the speech reading back to you, you know, when it says yellow on black and things like that, you don't have to, you can turn those off.
Could you summarize the difference between the device you just demonstrated and the one before that, the Mercury 10?
Right, screen size, basically screen size. The Mercury 10 you wouldn't take out with you, basically because safety, there's no, it's not really designed that. The Mercury 10 is a home machine that you'd have around the house. If you wanted to complement the Mercury 10, you might have both. So this is you out and about, and the Mercury 10 is your home unit. Now, if you had them both, you wouldn't need two stands. You could probably use this with the Mercury 10 stand because it's exactly the same.
But apart from the screen size, they both have the same capabilities.
No. The Mercury 10 will allow you to access the internet, and it's got all the internet features on it. Whereas the Pocket Voice is not connected to the internet at all. Now, both these devices, using the Mercury and the text-to-speech, it's all done on the product itself. You don't have to be connected to the internet on any of these machines. It's all in the software, which means that if you're not linked into a Wi-Fi, if you're not in an area where there is Wi-Fi, you've still got all the options of the device. But when you are in range of a Wi-Fi with the Mercury 10, you can connect it up and get all your emails, the internet, whatever. When it comes delivered, and we deliver the Mercury 10 personally, we will set it up on your Wi-Fi for you. Now, the reason for doing that is because we put on there a remote support button. Now, this is all free of charge. So if you have any trouble with the Mercury 10, you push the remote support, you telephone us, there's a number on there. Invariably, if you just ask permission, we can connect directly to your device. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, and we can then put it straight. Just an example, we had one child entering an exam who mucked his software up just before entering the exam, where he had to use his Mercury 10 in the exam. We were able to connect straight to it, put it right, and he walked into the exam and did his exam. So that's the level of support we offer with these sort of products.
It's Alex here from Seeing Solutions. Do you mind if I interject just a second?
Go ahead.
So just to say, with the Mercury 10 as well, it's not just the internet, but any Android app that you'd want to use on there too. So that could be Microsoft Word. You can attach a Bluetooth keyboard. You can attach Bluetooth speakers, and anything you'd want to do, we can get that set up for you also. So it can almost be like a home computer as well.
Okay, because I missed the first 5 minutes of your presentation.
Okay.
Now, just to give you an idea, we do have a series of videos which we've made on YouTube. So if you go onto YouTube and just search for Seeing Solutions, there are a number of videos that go through all these products, in fact, many more products as well, introducing them and showing you how to use them. Basically, we've done this because it's a it's a safe way of showing what the products do in this COVID situation. But you know, nothing beats a bit of hands-on. And if Pam's willing, yes, which she said she is, to put a room aside, if people want to see these, I'll come down and we'll have sessions with individual people.
With the Mercury 10 or the Pocket Mercury, can it be Bluetooth to hearing aids or earphones?
Do you want to answer that, Alex?
Yeah, I can answer that. So with the Mercury 10, yes, you can set that up. It's fairly easy to set up yourself. With the Pocket, we can do that, but it would require us to set that up for you because the Pocket doesn't have the same access. We'd have to do that inside the Pocket software, but that is something we can set up if required.
Yeah, the Mercury 10 is available with a keyboard, which we provide, and we normally demonstrate it with an external speaker anyway, which gives a far better quality. Although the latest tablets by Samsung, which is the tablets we use, have got pretty good speakers in anyway. You also link it to your Bluetooth on your hearing aid. So you said that, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Alternatively, can it have a wired connection to an earplug type?
Yes, both of them have got a headphone output that you can connect. With the Pocket Voice, it's USB-C, so you will need a small adapter. But with the Mercury 10, it's just a normal headphone jack.
Okay.
Yeah, just to show you where that is on here. It's on the other side. It's a little hole there. It's a standard 3.5-inch jack. You can plug any type of headphone in.
Do you have any more?
Here to help you throughout your day.
What size is the screen of the Pocket Voice?
Sorry, I missed
The
that.
screen size of the Pocket Voice.
So screen size 5.5 inches. And we used to make a
How
smaller
much? Sorry, how big?
5.5 inches.
Oh,
And that is ideal for people
Screen.
diagonally across the screen. It's 5.5 inches.
Okay.
That's an ideal size for putting in your pocket or in your handbag.
and what's the cost of that device? Just the magnifier itself?
The magnifier itself, like that, is 825. Now you do get all your updates free of charge, and you do get all your support free of charge with these devices. So you're not paying any added costs to these. That's 825. That there is £99. It comes with the cradle. The Mercury 10, with everything, the case and the stand and everything, is 1495. Now, if for instance you lost it, broke it, or whatever, you actually own the license, which is the software, and we can replace the screen and transfer the software for you. Of course, there will be a small charge for that, but it means that you haven't lost the device, even if it's, say, stolen.
Are there any more questions or queries for Phill before we wrap up?
Well, do you want to quickly go through the info? No. Okay. No, that's absolutely fine. Please, anybody who's watching, liaise with Pam. Pam's a great person. She's very, very knowledgeable, and we work closely with her. And, you know, as soon as opportunity, we'd love to come down. If anybody wants to see any of this equipment, let me know. I can arrange a visit to come down. I prefer to do it to 2 or 3 people in a day, or even 4 maximum. I don't mind making a long day of it if it helps you out. But when this is over, yeah, we'll get together at Open Sight. Should we be contacted?
Yeah, that'd be great. So as soon as we're able to, and hopefully as well we can start up the information days as well as soon as we can as well. But yes, thank you, Phill. Thanks for joining us. Thank you.
Just